on your side starts with this breaking news alert.
We come on the air this afternoon with breaking news. A man connected to this week's package bombs has been arrested. This is video from Plantation, Florida, where that arrest is believed to have been made. You see right now, federal officials have covered up what's believed to be a white van with a tarp. They do plan on towing it away. That van is covered with pro-Republican messages, and it also attacks CNN in some of those messages. This scene is less than 30 minutes from the postal building that the FBI has been investigating all morning long. And it all comes as two more suspicious packages have been found, addressed to New Jersey Senator Cory Booker and the former Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper. Here's Maggie Rulli.
This is now the third neighborhood here in New York City to have been put under threat in just as many days. But authorities have just confirmed that they have now tracked down at least one person in connection with these attempted bombings. A suspect is in custody after two more potentially explosive devices were sent to frequent critics of President Trump. Overnight, one intercepted in a mailroom in Florida addressed to Senator Cory Booker. Then, a couple hours later, this block shut down in Manhattan after another package is discovered addressed to former Director of National Intelligence and current CNN contributor James Clapper.
This is definitely domestic terrorism, no question about it in my mind.
Clapper remaining defiant while speaking on CNN.
This is not going to silence the administration's critics.
Law enforcement officials are describing these bomb threats as legitimate domestic terrorism and fear more may be out there.
These devices should be considered dangerous. Do not touch, do not move, do not handle any suspicious or unknown package.
Authorities zeroing in on South Florida to this postal facility just north of Miami. Homeland Security confirming that at least some of the devices were shipped from Florida. Authorities also confirmed that all the packages share the same characteristics. 6 American flag postage stamps, padded yellow manila envelopes, a pipe bomb type device inside, and all listing the return address of Congresswoman and former head of the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Obviously, it's devastating, deeply disturbing to have my name used in that way. It's sinister and evil.
Multiple law enforcement sources now tell ABC News that they tracked down that person in custody using a cell phone. They've now recovered a cell phone, a laptop, and other electronic devices from the suspect. In New York City, Maggie Rulli, ABC News. Back to you.
The FBI will hold a news conference on the arrest today at 2:30. As details from the arrest trickle out this afternoon, you can find the latest updates on the ABC6 app. It's free and it's on both iOS and Android systems. Just search WSYX space ABC6 in your app store. And we will, of course, continue to update this story at 12:30 as well as tonight. National Security Advisor John Bolton says the White House has invited Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington, D.C. It's a controversial idea that lawmakers in both parties have been against in the past. A meeting between the two leaders would happen next year. President Trump's also set to meet with Putin next month during a World War I commemoration event. Happening tonight, Highball Halloween in the short north, and they say rain will not be slowing down the preparations. Mike McCarthy is live where organizers are preparing for thousands of people. Mike?
Terry, they sure are right here behind me all along up and down High Street. Workers are getting ready for a big Halloween party. We've already gotten some light rain here downtown about an hour or so ago. That certainly did not dampen the excitement and the outlook of the people who are organizing this huge event. They already have a couple tents set up and ready to go. You know, depending upon how much rain we do get today, spots like that one may be some of the most popular here in the short north. Let's take it just up the street now with some of the video we shot a little bit ago as the preparations continue here at this noon hour. There are 2 stages with this event this year, and one of them is already set up and are ready to go. Crowds of people will be around that tonight. There are going to be music performances here, street art, and probably some of the best Halloween costumes you've ever seen. Organizers say 40,000 people attended this last year. Tonight is a totally 90s theme, and they really don't think that the rainy, cooler weather will keep too many people away.
No, the event is rain or shine. And, we've dealt with weather in all forms at the event before. We've been watching the forecast just like you guys have. So we're a go, regardless of weather.
And organizers point out that there is shelter available in some VIP areas that tickets are still available for. There are also some vendor tents open on the street. The big event tomorrow night is the fashion show. Organizers say depending upon the weather, the timing of that could change. So check their online schedule. We've made that super easy for you to do. Just go to abc6onyourside.com. Once you're there, click on news and then news links, and we've got that schedule for you ready to go even now at this noon hour. And a heads up, even if highball may not be your thing, it could impact your drive out of downtown tonight. You can see cars here moving behind me on High Street right now, but they've also got these orange cones set up. And Terry, the street organizers say here in the Short North High Street is going to close tonight at 5. The festivities gets underway starting at 6. We're live in the Short North. Mike McCarthy, ABC 6 News. Terry, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Jim Ganal, the pressure is on. Everyone's watching your forecast.
No, it's not. It's Friday. It's high school football, so you know it's going to be rainy, raw, damp, and chilly like it has been for several weeks. As far as for the fashion show downtown at Highball, tomorrow night there should be a gap in the rain. But you can see showers are spreading north. The steadiest, Circleville to Chillicothe, is headed to Lancaster and Logan. So for football, temperatures in the 40s, won't be terribly windy, but it's just not a lot of fun sitting out there at a football game for several hours. Notice it is 50 degrees to the north at Marion. How did you do that? Coshocton has 43, Mount Vernon and Newark 45. There are the first of many bands of showers that are going to spread through the region. So for this evening, expect that it is going to be wet with temperatures in the 40s. No frost, no ice on the roads, anything like that. And for tomorrow morning, guess what? It is still going to be wet. There will be a break later in the day, but Sunday's wet, Monday's wet, Wednesday's wet, Thursday's wet, all from different storms, Terry.
Oh, we're so popular. All right, thanks, Jim. We have an update right now to some breaking news from overnight. A major crash at the Polaris Fashion Place. We now know one of the drivers has died. It happened just after 10 last night at the corner of Polaris Parkway and Lyra Drive. Police say Thelma Dickerson crashed into 2 other cars in the intersection. She was flown to the hospital where she died. 4 other people were taken to the hospital. University of Utah police are now the subject of 2 investigations after a student was killed this week. Why officers didn't start investigating despite several reports. A toddler is dead after an accidental shooting. What happened when that boy was left alone? Scrutiny for how they handled several reports against the man now accused of killing a college student. She was shot and killed by her former boyfriend Monday while on the phone with her mother. The University of Utah says it's launching 2 independent investigations into campus safety. The school says Lauren McCluskey broke up with Melvin Rowland on October 9th when she found out he had lied about his name and age, and he was also on a registered sex offender list. Despite a second report alleging blackmail, police didn't start a formal investigation until nearly a week later.
I did not believe that there was enough evidence at that time to share with other law enforcement. There was no indication from Lauren to us at any point in this investigation that he was threatening physical harm.
Police also reportedly never contacted Rowland's parole officers who could have sent him back to prison. McCluskey has been awarded a posthumous degree. She would have graduated from Utah in May. A massive fire in Los Angeles is caught on camera. What happened once the flames jumped to a power line? And one of the biggest video games in years releases today. Why it's not all guns and horses in Red Dead Redemption 2. After a 3-year-old boy died when he accidentally shot himself in the face. Investigators say the boy and his father went to visit a friend's house to help work on some flooring When the two men went to buy more supplies, they left the child at the house with a woman who didn't live there. When the woman left that room for a minute, the child found a gun that had been hidden and shot himself. Police have not charged anyone, but they do want to remind people to keep guns locked up and away from children. Caught on camera, nearly 150 firefighters have had to battle a fire at a print shop in Los Angeles. No one is hurt. It did take nearly 90 minutes, though, for firefighters to beat the blaze as they leapt across the building, the flames as they leapt across the building's roof. They even jumped to nearby power lines, causing them to spark. No word on what caused this fire.
One more big score. We got enough money to leave. What do you think?
Nothing means more to me than this.
Your kid's biggest Christmas wish is available now. Red Dead Redemption 2 releases today. It's expected to be one of the more popular video games ever. You play as a cowboy traveling through the Wild West, free to follow the law as much or as little as you would like. Ratings aggregator Metacritic has given that game a score of 98, making it the best game of the year and in the top 10 of all time. And while that game will likely sell tens of millions of copies, there are also concerns about the work that went into it. Recent interviews from employees mention mandatory unpaid overtime and some possible 100-hour work weeks.
I don't even know how you program 1 pixel of something.
Yeah,
like that. And those things look just like real movies.
They do, or like real life.
I know, isn't it nuts? Gosh.
Oh boy.
So what's the objective? I guess we don't know.
I don't know.
We don't care too much? Okay.
I don't know. Do you play video games at home?
I do not.
No? Okay.
I do not. I don't even hardly watch TV. Except for the edgy news
You better
show.
watch this edgy noon show.
Yes, I do. If you're going outside this afternoon, we're getting a break for Franklin County. Showers north, showers south, but that is obviously temporary. And the showers increase tonight. They increase again tomorrow. And on Sunday, it's going to be very wet. So again, this week, I'm sorry this has been such a miserable high school football season. We started with severe storms, lightning, and thunder for a couple of weeks. Then we went to 4 weeks of extremely hot and humid weather. And now this is at least the 3rd week, raw and chilly with rain with November temperatures. So your Saturday, notice intermittent showers, not very warm, 52 degrees at 4 o'clock. Oh, it's going to get better Sunday, right? Nope, the rain gets heavier Sunday afternoon and evening. And at 4 o'clock, it'll be about 50 degrees. We've been in November now for almost 3 weeks with our temperatures, sky conditions, and precipitation. So it's 47 at Columbus. It feels like 42 with an east breeze, 12 miles an hour. Ragweed's out there a little bit. Of course, rain washes it out of the air. Coshocton only has 43 degrees, and you're thinking, if it's 10 degrees colder, we're probably seeing wet snow around Ohio today. It's 47 here, Lancaster 46, New Lex just 44. So we have intermittent showers over Ohio. But look at the spin of the low, the main storm center. Still no lightning or thunder with this. Is still to our west, and it's tracking to the northeast, right through the Ohio Valley, right at 8 o'clock tonight for the high school games. It does diminish, dust a touch, and move off to the northeast a little bit on Saturday, but fills in the afternoon into the evening hours. Then it wanes a little bit during the overnight, and you think we're safe, but nope. Sunday afternoon, another system will be coming in from the west. So 52 degrees, about the best we'll do, falling back into the 40s tonight. So no frost, no ice on the roads. So what about our 10-day? Well, Tuesday, some communities are actually trick-or-treating. And that doesn't look bad temperature-wise, 60. It's also the only dry day that we foresee in the future. All the temperatures pretty much north of the Ohio River are only in the 40s again. Syracuse is not even that warm. And I saw waves off of Lake Superior yesterday that rival anything out in the ocean because of the north winds. They were just huge, pounding inland to Duluth. So look at all the clouds and look at all the dampness. That stuff in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, that is the remains of Hurricane Willow that's heading off to the East Coast this weekend. So our low tonight drops to 42, showery, raw, and chilly again. Tomorrow, intermittent rain, 52 for the high. And I think it's going to get better Sunday. Nope, it's actually getting worse Sunday afternoon and evening. Showers on Monday, a nice day Tuesday, and then we're back into some more wet weather, Terry.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Halloween's right around the corner, but the holiday presents a lot of safety hazards for your pets. How to make sure your pets have a happy holiday.
Countdown to Kickoff, sponsored by Nissan.
Time now for a pet check. A couple of weeks ago, we discussed reducing fear in your dogs on Halloween. Today, we're discussing potential Halloween safety hazards for pets. Joe Fleming is with me, practice manager and registered veterinary tech from Ohio State's Veterinary Medical Center in Dublin. So before we get discussing Halloween safety on pets, this is an interesting cat.
Yeah, this is Justine. She's about 6 months old. She is looking for her forever home. She is currently with Colony Cats in Dublin. She's a good little kitty. She gets along great with other cats.
Great.
And would probably mold into any old home.
You just say she's a long hair, but to me, she looks like a Maine Coon. I have a Maine Coon, and this is such a beautiful little girl.
She's very sweet.
I know, she's very calm here today, and I'm not feeling any purring yet, but that's okay too. Okay, Joe, what about Halloween safety for cats?
Well, really, in
Keep them
general,
out of the emergency room.
Yeah, for sure. In general, you know, candy, chocolate, decorations, costumes, those are all great fun around the holidays. But for pets, they can be a hazard.
Yeah, a lot of the costumes have strings and stuff that they can ingest and cause internal problems,
Yes,
I'm sure.
particularly cats.
Yes.
You know, they'll get the ribbons off of that, and that can cause an intestinal blockage.
So what about plants this time of the year? We go into poinsettia season and all these other flowers of the fall and winter. What's the concern there with those?
Right, yeah, for sure. You know, eating poinsettias can be a problem. We do worry about you know, burns and things like that, toxicities. At this time of the year, our biggest concern is chocolate, as animals ingest a lot of chocolate and candy around Halloween. So those are our biggest concerns right now, that along with the costumes.
So if you see a wrapper and the chocolate's gone, how much chocolate have to be ingested to be a problem?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, sometimes they'll just eat a little candy. Sometimes they'll indulge in the entire stash. Dark chocolate is more toxic than milk chocolate. So anytime that you think your dog has ingested, you know, a moderate amount of chocolate, depends on the size of the dog, the type of chocolate, how much actual chocolate there is. You should contact your veterinarian. If they're not available, then we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 365 days of the year.
And maybe you should lock up your pets on Halloween with a door opening and closing.
Absolutely.
So many times they're scared already and
Absolutely.
see strange things.
Yeah, for sure. You know, keeping them in a completely separate room is a good idea. Otherwise, behind a barrier such as a baby gate, and absolutely making sure your pet has identification on board. That a microchip or a tag on the collar, just in case they do get out, is important.
So what percentage of animals are microchipped now? Do you have any idea on that?
Microchipping has become very popular, and veterinarians are doing a really great job of educating their clients on making sure that they are microchipping. I don't know the exact numbers on percentages, but it's pretty high.
So if you want to get this little girl, Justine, how do you do it?
You're going to contact Colony Cats in Dublin. Give them a call. They'll get you all the necessary things. Number should be popping up on your screen. She's a wonderful little girl, and they have many other cats available for adoption as well.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back.
We are following breaking news of an arrest in connection to this week's package bombs. After the break, what the FBI is seeing as investigators comb through the suspect's home and van. Stay with us.
News at noon on your side starts with this breaking news alert.
We are following breaking news this afternoon as federal officials say they have a person in custody out of that series of pipe bombs that were sent around the country. This is a live look from Florida as federal officials transport a white van wrapped in a blue tarp as evidence. And now we want to take you live to Washington, D.C., where we're waiting for the president to address that arrest. He will speak soon at the Young Black Leadership Summit. As soon as he takes the podium, we'll bring you his comments live. Meanwhile, Karen Caifa is in New York City with more details on the man the feds have in custody.
The headline at this hour is that an arrest has been made in connection with these suspicious packages. Multiple law enforcement sources say that the suspect is in his 50s, has an Aventura, Florida address, has a criminal history, and also ties to New York. He was arrested in Plantation, Florida, in South Florida. Meanwhile, here in Midtown Manhattan, another of those suspicious packages was found at the mail facility behind me this morning, addressed to the former Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, and bringing the total to 12.
This is definitely domestic terrorism, no question about it.
Police filled streets in New York Friday, a suspicious package prompting the evacuation of a postal facility in New York City. Addressed to former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper and CNN, law enforcement sources say the package is similar to the others intercepted by authorities this week.
We continue to advise the American public to remain vigilant, as it does remain possible further packages have been or could be mailed.
On Thursday, authorities combed a South Florida mail facility for clues, discovering a suspicious package addressed to Senator Cory Booker. Senator Booker and James Clapper are the latest recipients in the twisted plot targeting prominent Democrats and CNN.
This is just, trying to divide people. It's dangerous.
Law enforcement officials say the packages had similar characteristics. Each a manila envelope with 6 forever stamps, all with the same return address of Florida Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. FBI investigators said devices inside the packages.
Right now, President Trump is speaking at the Young Black Leadership Summit. Let's listen in.
As you know, this is Young Black Leadership, and it's the summit. And to have you here is truly my privilege. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk. We're going to meet. But before I do, I'd like to begin, and you are leaders, you're real leaders. I'd like to begin today's remarks by providing an update on the packages and devices that have been mailed to high-profile figures throughout our country and a media organization. I am pleased to inform you that law enforcement has apprehended the suspect and taken him into custody. It's an incredible job by law enforcement. We've carried out a far-reaching federal, state, and local investigation to find the person or persons responsible for these events. These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country. No place. I've instructed authorities to spare no resource or expense in finding those responsible and bringing them to swift and certain justice. And we will prosecute them, him, her, whoever it may be, to the fullest extent of the law. We must never allow political violence to take root in America. Cannot let it happen. And I'm committed to doing everything in my power as president to stop it. And to stop it now. Stop it now. I have just concluded a briefing with the Department of Justice following the apprehension of the suspect. I want to applaud the FBI, Secret Service, the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, the NYPD, and all law enforcement throughout the entire country, incredible partners. These people have worked so hard, and to have done it so quickly, it's looking like it's a needle in a haystack. How do you do this so quickly? They've done an incredible incredible job, and I want to congratulate them. But the bottom line is that Americans must unify, and we must show the world that we are united together in peace and love and harmony as fellow American citizens. There is no country like our country, and every day we are showing the world just how truly great we are. So you are really very special people. I wanted to say that before our little talk. And I appreciate the time you've given me. And boy, one day, one of you is going to be standing. It could be 3 or 4 of you, actually. But you're going to be standing right here. You're going to be standing right here. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Who in this room wants to be president someday?
So that was President Trump talking about today's arrest in connection to the package bombs. As of now, a dozen packages have been found addressed to the president's critics. Law enforcement is identifying him to the Associated Press as 56-year-old Cesar Sayoc. He's a 56-year-old man from Florida. The FBI will have a briefing again this afternoon at 2:30. Keep up with this afternoon's developments by following ABC6 on social media. That way you'll get updates as they happen right in your feeds, and we will carry this afternoon's FBI News Conference live on our Facebook page. Weather's also making news. A lot of stuff going on this weekend.
We've
it's
said
chilly.
for weeks we're already into November, and November is never a very pretty month. You never see the sun. It's frequently wet. It's always chilly, raw, and damp. And unfortunately, it looks like we are going to miss out on fall, just like we missed out on spring, because November goes down. I know, this particular year we are. So expect the rain showers to increase this afternoon. The steadiest right now up and down Route 33 from Canal Winchester, Logan, Lancaster, and Athens, moving to the northeast. Notice we're not seeing any pockets of heavy rain or lightning and thunder with this. And the temperatures are so chilly, just 44 at Coshocton, 45 at Chillicothe, and 44 degrees at New Lex. Going through the afternoon, showers will increase, and unfortunately, we're going to have rain for high school football tonight, Terry.
All right, thanks, Jim. A royal scare as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle prepare to land in Australia. What happened right when their plane was about to touch down? And a man tries to steal one of the historic documents ever, his low-tech plan to take the Magna Carta. First trip together, this is when they were leaving Tonga, going to Australia, when the plane suddenly had to abort its landing because another plane was already on the runway. Passengers say they could see cars driving on the road below. That plane landed safely on its second attempt. The royal couple will spend 2 nights in Australia before traveling on to New Zealand. A real-life national treasure. A man tries to steal an historic document. How far he got before his theft attempt was foiled.
The economy is huge when you're talking about an election.
And the economy is front of mind ahead of the midterms. After the break, we'll take a pulse of America less than 2 weeks before Election Day. parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, is launching a weekly series called Pulse of America. Their purpose is to explore how national issues are playing out in communities across the country. This week, Frank Fraboni takes us to Asheville, North Carolina, to show us how the economy could influence voters in the midterm election.
Tucked in the western mountains of North Carolina lies a tourist mecca with an artsy musical vibe. Visitors fill the streets in search of food, arts, and craft beer in this eclectic southern city.
You know, I've made 2 sales today.
In the shops and on the street,
They're all hand-painted.
the economy is an important part of life.
So, I mean, that people are spending money on art is certainly something because it's not a necessity.
If it's robust, we all, benefit from that. And if it's shaky and if, the lot of money goes to the top and the middle class gets left out, then that's a problem.
I think with the trade wars that Trump started here is affecting a lot of our businesses.
Early voting is now underway here, and at the polls, the economy is top of mind.
I mean, sure, the economy is important. There's so many things going on right now.
Hugely important, hugely important. The best economy there is. Every business in Asheville has a help wanted sign on it, even the post office.
I think what's important is changing the current climate of the political system that we have right now.
For a long time I thought America is huge and it needs to be run like a business. It really needs to be run like a business. And we finally got our wish, and this guy is very good at business, very good at making money.
But for some, November is more than about money.
Like, if I can't do this, but I see our culture moving in a more positive direction, then I'm going to vote that way, even if it would negatively affect me on an individual level.
We have a lot of folks in Asheville that are working paycheck to paycheck. The economy is huge when you're talking about an election.
Whatever your view of the economy, it's politicians who face the music come Election Day. In Asheville, Frank Fraboni for Pulse of America.
As you just saw, the economy is on the minds of many voters. A new ScottRasmussen.com poll shows how well it's doing depends dramatically on who you ask. But overall, more than half surveyed say the economy is doing well. However, a deeper dive into the numbers shows a pretty dramatic shift between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans, by a 74-6 margin, say the economy is getting better. Democrats, on the other hand, by a 30-21 margin, say it's getting worse.
One explanation is it's always this way. If a Democrat was in the White House, Democrats would be more optimistic than Republicans. Part of that has to do with what we see and expect the role of the government to be.
The poll also shows independents are pretty evenly split on how the economy is doing. Next week in our Pulse of America report, we will head to Palm Beach, Florida, and ask voters there who they think will control the House and Senate after voters go to the polls. We know now how much it'll cost for you to watch 2 of the world's most popular golfers face off. The winner-take-all showdown between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson will start at 3 o'clock on Black Friday. It'll only be available through pay-per-view, which costs $20. The golfers will play 18 holes against each other in Las Vegas. Whoever wins will get $9 million, while the other player will get nothing. Tiger and Phil will also be able to place side bets, with those winnings going to charity. Police have arrested a man for trying to steal the Magna Carta from Salisbury Cathedral. They say a man with a hammer tried to smash and then grab the document from the display case. It's one of only 4 copies left in existence. It was a Charter of Rights signed in 1215. The 800-year-old document is considered one of the most influential in history, even inspiring the U.S. Constitution. A copy of that document will be put on display while the glass case is fixed. So I wonder if, did he get all the way through? You would think that that would be bulletproof, hammer-proof, all kinds of proof glass.
Just like the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would think so, but
I don't know.
Magna Carta's pretty important.
Yes, indeed.
It is. Around here indoor weekend coming up for most. The Buckeyes do not play tomorrow. They play next Saturday at noon against Nebraska, but
you can make chili and soup and all kinds of
good.
comfort foods.
And for high school football, you need the hand warmers and the winter gear again. Radar shows showers spreading off to the north. This is not going to last all day. It'll last for 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll get a break before more rain comes in during the night tonight. Notice the steadiest and the heaviest of the showers are between Columbus and Athens, moving off toward the northeast, headed toward Buckeye Lake and I-70. Also more showers up around the Marion area. So here it is, high school football. It's going to be wet, temperatures in the 40s, not overly windy, but you don't need much wind for this kind of a raw chill to affect you. So it's 45 in Licking County, 46 at Ohio State. Very gray, like you normally would expect for the month of November. Our temperature at Port Columbus is 47. There's a pretty stiff breeze out of the east at 12, making it feel like 42. Temperatures are very slow to rise to the south and east of Columbus because we just showed you that's the area that has the thickest clouds and the steadiest rain moving off to the northeast. Marion, on the other hand, has 50 degrees. So this afternoon in the low 50s, the best we do. We have to include rain showers in the forecast every single hour, although there will be a lull in this, probably 4 to 5:30 this afternoon. You can see why. This one batch is drifting to the north. Here's the lull in southern Ohio. And notice the spin of the low south of Champaign is moving off to the east-northeast. No lightning or thunder in anything there either, but obviously this is going to impact us tonight. You can see it here in the Futurecast. Rain covers most of the state by 8:30 tonight, and then by midnight and through the morning hours, just damp and dreary with drizzly kind of rains. During the day, it fills in again during the afternoon because the low will be just off to the north and to the east of us. Now, only about 1/4 of an inch of rain each day the next 2 days. Then we get a lull again Saturday night and Sunday morning before the next little disturbance. Doesn't look like much, passing Chicago by noon on Sunday, but that'll increase the rain here late Sunday afternoon and into Monday. Overall, it's several systems. Actually, there's 4. One in the southeast, one in the Midwest, one in the upper Midwest, and one coming into the northern Rockies. And all 4 of them seem to be able to impact us. So 42 degrees and showery tonight, raw and chilly. Northeast breeze 5 to 10. Tomorrow doesn't get any better than today. Rain showers, a chill in the air, north wind at 5 to 10. Then on Sunday and Monday, it continues to be wet. There is a break on Tuesday, 60 degrees. Some communities are actually trick-or-treating on Tuesday, so that's good. But unfortunately, Wednesday and Thursday, both day trick-or-treat days here in Central Ohio. The main one is Wednesday, 59 degrees, and a really, really high chance that it's going to be wet that evening. Sorry about that. Terry and I will be right back.
We'll hear from the FBI in about an hour and a half on the arrest in the pipe bomb case. We know it's a man in his 50s, apparently in Florida. You see a white van there plastered with political messages. We'll have much more on this. You can, of course, get the latest updates on the ABC6 app and on abc6onyourside.com. And we'll bring you the latest on air and online. Don't miss ABC6 News at 5 and 6. So I guess we're in this soggy weather to stay for a bit,
We are. At least the grass is not growing anymore.
Oh, yeah, it is. I planted some seed. Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. No, it's coming up.
It is coming up?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
I'm
good
hoping.
luck. Temperatures around 50 the next 4 days, wet the next 4 days. Then we catch our breath Tuesday before it gets wet again.
No.
So it's not a really nice pattern, but in November of 1985, I think it rained 28 days.
Oh. In a row?
Out of 30.
Oh my goodness, wow. Well, have a great weekend.